Welcome to GS Essay class. Today's task is Analytical Understanding of 2020 Questions, Section A. And this analysis is being done by Professor Dr. Virendra Pandey, PhD from State University of New York at Stony Brook, for the study and Institute for IAS, Divyam Education Private Limited. Essay question paper of 2020, Analytical Understanding of Section A questions. Well, in Section A, there are 4 questions. I just read out the questions to you. Question number 1 is, life is long journey between human being and being humane. Mindful manifesto is the catalyst to a tranquil self. Ships do not sink because of water around them. Ships sink because of water that gets into them. And the last question is, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. As you can see, all these 4 questions are very abstract, very abstract. So now let's pick up question number 1. Life is long journey between human being and being human. And as I taught you through my very first video of this series, and I'll provide you the link also, what I had advised you to do, to understand a given topic was to begin by substituting keywords with their synonyms and antonyms. So what are the keywords in the question? The keywords in the question is life, long, journey, and this journey is a metaphor, human being, and then humane. So let's see how I have substituted the keywords for you. Life, synonym, existence, long, extended, persistent, journey, passage, exploration, voyage, etc. Human being, Homo sapiens. Humane, considerate, compassionate. So these are the synonyms. Antonyms. What are the antonyms? For long, we have short. For human being, we have animal or beast. For humane, we have inhumane or callous. Now, based on your understanding of the topic through the substitution of synonyms and antonyms, the next step is to reconstruct the topic in your own words, which I have done here. See how I have reconstructed the topic based on the synonyms and the antonyms in the previous slide. To be a human is not to be like an animal or beast, and the extended passage of human existence is indeed a long journey that requires individuals to be persistent about the exploration, that is, getting them or thinking. This thinking is a word. Don't think that it is a wrong word. It is a correct word. When somebody, thinks on something very seriously, then we use the word, or thinks about something very seriously. How to do this? We use the word this or thinking. So let me read this out to you again. To be a human is not to be like an animal or beast, and the extended passage of human existence is indeed a long journey that requires individuals to be persistent about the exploration. That is, getting them a thinking and actionable about being considerate and compassionate towards the other. As Homo sapiens, humans are superior to animals because, unlike the latter here means animals, they here refer to humans. Humans do not display callousness to the need, pain, and suffering of the other. So, this is the meaning of this quote, which has been given as a question here, and see how clear we have become about this aphoristic statement. I have got requests from many viewers about telling things also in Hindi, so let me explain this topic in Hindi for them. मानव होना जानवर से अलग होना है, जानवर के जैसा नहीं होना है, और हमारा जो ह्यूमन एग्जिस्टेंस है, हमारा जो जीवन है, जो बहुत लंबा है, यह वास्तव में यह एक बहुत लंबा यात्रा है, जिस यात्रा में हम जिस खोज पर हैं, उस खोज के बारे में हम बहुत तत्पर होते हैं, उसके बारे में सोचते हैं और उसके बारे में हम एक्शन करते हैं, और हमारा सोच और एक्शन जो इस यात्रा में होता है, यह हमें यह यात्रा अच्छे विचार, दूसरों के प्रति अच्छा विचार रखना, दूसरों के प्रति सहानुभूति रखना होता है। हम मानव जानवरों से, पशुओं से सुपीरियर इसलिए हैं क्योंकि जानवर दूसरे के नीड, पेन और सफरिंग के प्रति उतना सजगता नहीं दिखाता है जितना हम मानव दिखाते हैं। So now that you have understood the topic, how to deal with it. So here are very useful information for you. What is the nature of the question? The nature of the question is aphorism or a pithy quote. It's a quote, but it's an aphoristic quote. And if you have viewed my first video, I had explained aphorism there. This aphoristic statement normally comes when a writer is trying to sum up ideas. Then while summing up the ideas, authors, they come up with a very short second sentence full of idea. And that is what an aphoristic statement is. What is the nature of the topic? Because the quote is very aphoristic, therefore, it's very clear that the nature of the topic is abstract idea. Genre of the essay, in which genre you should write the essay? Well, there is a choice for you. If you have extensive knowledge about the topic, as I have, then you can go for explanatory synthesis mode. If you do not have that extensive idea, then you can simply choose the genre of expansion or amplification. And again, I want you to go back to my first video, because there in what I had also told you was that in order to have even a much clearer understanding of the topic, we should also think of the contradictory view of the topic. So what is the contradictory view of the topic? Humans can behave like beasts and be uncaring and insensitive to the other. So this is the contradictory view. Approach to the topic. So if you choose the explanatory synthesis genre or generic mode of writing this essay, then you should bring ideas from different subject areas. Remember, in my first video, I had told you that many of the topics which are very abstract, they require interdisciplinary approach. And here, this topic is chiefly related to the subject of ethics. But this topic has received treatment across wide areas of humanities and social sciences. For example, ethics, literature, education, political economy, environmental science, history, and governance. To give you a few examples. In ethics, take this topic, or ethics stress on the value of a human being, which it says is derivable from his or her rationality, intelligence, and capacity for altruism. Altruism means what we in Hindi say paropakar, selfless. You become selfless and you do help others, the needy. Literature, the location of moral value is in the outlook of the person who has a humane attitude, which is only achieved through the study of poetry, art, and stories. So the study of literature instills in us, infuses in us the humane values, as a result of which we develop a humane attitude. Education, teaching compassion, particularly in early childhood. Literature, education literature tells us that the best way to teach moral values, particularly relating to compassion, is at the from primary to high school levels, early childhood. Political economy, private sector versus public sector. There is a debate whether private sector is better or public sector is better. Private sector, the philosophy of private sector is only on making profit. Public sector also tries to make profit, but it is also answerable to the needy public at large. So what is humane economy? Is humane economy public sector or humane economy is private sector? Then there is also a debate about capitalism and Marxism. Capitalism believes in making money. Marxism is more it tends more towards providing food and amenities to all than just make money. So capitalistic kind of political system or Marxist type of political system, which is better from the perspective of being humane. You can also take up this topic in that light. Environmental science, the humane approach to living with plant and wildlife. As we see today, we human beings have been very inhumane to this earth. We think that this earth belongs, we have been very selfish, and we think that this earth only belongs to us, the humans, and we have been so cruel uh, towards plant and wildlife, to wild animals, and as a result of which we have been facing climate change and other things like that. An impending disaster is there on the horizon because we have played havoc with the environment because of our inhumane approach to nature. History. This topic also figures in history. Valorization of the idea of sympathy and sensibility in the age of enlightenment, contributing to the call for the abolition of slavery from Europe in the first half of the 19th century. In the age of enlightenment, there came a phase. That phase is called the phase of sensibility, and in that phase, the idea of sympathy got prominence in socio-political debate, socio-philosophical debate, and the primacy of that idea of sympathy or the privileging of sympathy actually contributed to the call for the abolition of slavery from Europe in the first half of the 19th century. So, this topic has also figured in history in this way. And lastly, to governance. The failure to achieve humane global governance is partially due to the exclusion of religious and spiritual dimensions of human experience from the practice of government, leading to both national and global governance from the above rather than from the below. Governments worlds over, how have they been governing? The way they have been governing, the practice of the government worldwide is something that does not take into consideration the religious and spiritual dimensions of human experience. As a result of which, what has happened is that government works from the perspective of the above rather than from the perspective of the below, and becomes very cruel and callous to the needy people. So, what this means is that governance should also be humane. Now we move over to second question. Mindful manifesto is the catalyst to a tranquil self. All the keywords have been underlined and their synonyms. Mindful here means thoughtful or meditative. Manifesto means firmness or resolve. Catalyst means driver. Tranquil means still or calm. Self means person or personality. So, what can be the opposite words for some of the words, keywords? Mindful means unquiet or stressed. Manifesto means incertitude or irresoluteness. Catalyst means counter agentive and counter incentive. I mean, these are all opposite meanings. Tranquil, the opposite meaning for tranquil is agitated or flustered. So, the replacement of the keywords with synonyms and antonyms give you better idea of the topic, which in the next slide, this slide, we have reconstructed in our own words. So, let us look at the reconstruction. The resolve to be meditative or the determination to perform a dhyan on a particular object, thought actively conduces to a mentally clear and emotionally calm, stable state free of stress. So see, I have seen some of the videos on YouTube that has explained the question, and not many of them have done a good job. And why they have not done a good job is that they have not been able to understand this topic very well, and the reason is that they have missed the first step, that is substituting the keywords with synonyms and antonyms. Mindful manifesto here means being meditative, the determination to be meditative, or the determination to perform dhyana. Dhyana in Hindu philosophy, ध्यान करो, ध्यान करने से ऐसा होता है, वैसा होता है. सो ध्यान हम किस पर करते हैं? ध्यान हम किसी वस्तु पर करते हैं, किसी थॉट पर करते हैं, किसी एक्टिविटी पर करते हैं. और जब हम ध्यान करते हैं तो हम मानसिक रूप से बहुत क्लियर, बहुत स्पष्ट, इमोशनली बहुत काम और स्टेबल हो जाते हैं, और हमें स्ट्रेस से मुक्ति मिलती है. सो दिस इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस टॉपिक. So what are the critical things that you should consider about the topic? The nature of the question is once again aphorism or a pithy quote. The nature of the topic is abstract idea. The genre of this essay is expansion or amplification. What can be the contradictory view? A person faltering in dhyana has a flustered life full of stress, anxiety and depression so common today. यदि तुम ध्यान ठीक से नहीं कर पाते हो, ध्यान नहीं करते हो या ध्यान ठीक से नहीं कर पाते हो, तो तुम्हारे जीवन में बहुत अफरा तफरी होगा, मन की शांति नहीं होगी, तुम्हें बहुत स्ट्रेस होगा, बहुत चिंता होगा, बहुत डिप्रेशन होगा. और ये एंजाइटी और डिप्रेशन तो आजकल बहुत बड़ा रोग है. सो दिस इज द कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी व्यू. सो यदि हम ध्यान करते हैं तो ये सब चीज हमको नहीं होगा. सो द कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी व्यू इज, यदि हम ध्यान नहीं करते हैं, ठीक से नहीं करते और करते ही नहीं हैं, तो हमारे जीवन में बहुत ही एंजाइटी और स्ट्रेस होगा. सो व्हाट शुड बी द अप्रोच टू दिस एसे? वेल, many of the ideas will come from Indian philosophy, particularly relating to yoga and Buddhism. Now we move over to the third question. This is actually a very, this question doesn't form the pattern. A pattern from the perspective of, our stepwise approach. Here, because this whole statement is, it is a maxim. And here that substitution method doesn't work because the whole statement is a metaphor. Ships do not sink because of water around them. Ships sink because of water that gets into them. So this is a metaphor. So here we do not go, our initial step here is not to substitute the keywords with synonyms or antonyms. Rather, we analyze the metaphor. So this is a proverb made of a metaphor. So we do not apply the general technique of substitution of the keywords with synonyms and antonyms. Rather, we begin by analyzing the metaphor. If we replace the word ships here with enterprises or the phrase water around, because ship is a metaphor, and if we replace that word ship with here enterprises, and again the phrase water around is also a metaphor. So if we replace that with surrounding hostile forces, the meaning that obtains in will be that undertakings or operations fail suddenly not because of the danger at hand, but because the danger gets inside the pilot or the operator or the manager. The implicit message is not to get bogged down by the countervailing forces. We get motivated by doing things with passion and dedication, and not by overly thinking about or balking at them. So let me also tell you the meaning in Hindi. देखो, यह स्टेटमेंट एक मेटाफर है. ये होल स्टेटमेंट या मेटाफर है, इसलिए हमें इसको समझने के लिए मेटाफर को एनालाइज करना पड़ेगा। और मेटाफर के दृष्टिकोण से इसमें दो चीजों पर हमको ध्यान देना है। एक शिप्स पर, शिप्स किस चीज के लिए स्टैंड कर रहा है, और दूसरा वाटर अराउंड के लिए। तो शिप्स यहां जिस चीज के लिए स्टैंड कर रहा है वो कोई एंटरप्राइज हो सकता है, कोई देश भी हो सकता है, कोई संस्था हो सकता है, कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हो सकता है, कोई एंटरप्राइज हो सकता है, कोई कैंपेन हो सकता है, कोई अभियान भी हो सकता है। और ये वाटर अराउंड जो है वह जो एंटरप्राइज है या कैंपेन है, उसके इर्द गिर्द जो हॉस्टाइल फोर्सेस है, जो उसको गिरा सकता है, असफल बना सकता है, वो इसके लिए स्टैंड कर रहा है। तो इस दो चीजों को यदि हम ध्यान में रखें तो इसका अर्थ जो निकल के आता है वो यह आता है कि कोई भी अंडरटेकिंग या कोई भी कैंपेन या कोई भी ऑपरेशन अचानक, जैसे अभी तुम देखे हो कि लद्दाख में अचानक चाइना पीछे हटने के लिए राजी हो गया। तो चाइना जो अचानक पीछे हटा, वो किस लिए हटा? इसलिए हटा कि जो उसको डर था, इंडियन आर्मी का पराक्रम का डर था या विंटर का डर था, वो डेंजर जो मिलिट्री कमांडर हैं, पायलट का मतलब, ऑपरेटर का मतलब, मैनेजर का मतलब वहां हुआ जो मिलिट्री कमांडर है, उसके दिमाग में जाके बैठ गया। तो जब जो सराउंडिंग डेंजर किसी लीडर के दिमाग में जाके बैठ जाएगा तो वो लीडर उस ऑपरेशन को सक्सेसफुल नहीं बना सकता है। जैसे चाइना ने सक्सेसफुल नहीं बना सका और अपने हार को छुपाने के लिए उसका नाम दिया गया डिसएंगेजमेंट। एक्चुअली ये चाइना का मिलिट्री रिट्रीट है, ये डिफीट है उसका। और वो डिफीट इसलिए हुआ कि जो हॉस्टाइल फोर्सेस से उनको काउंटर करना था, उसका डर उसके दिमाग में बैठ गया। तो इसलिए जो यह स्टेटमेंट है, इसका अर्थ यह है कि किसी चीज को हमें पैशन और डेडिकेशन से करना चाहिए। पैशन और डेडिकेशन से जब हम चीज करते हैं तो मोटिवेशन होती है। लेकिन यदि हम उसके बारे में बहुत सोचेंगे, ओवरली थिंक करेंगे या डरेंगे, हमको डर लगेगा। जैसे कोई घोड़ा है और उसको यदि ये डर लगा कि आगे जो गड्ढा है उसको हम कैसे जंप ओवर कर पाएंगे। शायद वो कर सकता, लेकिन उसके मन में यदि डर बैठ जाएगा तो वो नहीं कर सकेगा। तो देखो यह जो कोट है, इसका मतलब यह है। और मुझे बहुत दुख के साथ कहना पड़ रहा है कि बहुत सारा जो मैंने वीडियोस देखा, उसने जो डिफरेंट इंस्टीट्यूट्स वालों ने डाला है, उन्होंने इस मेटाफर को समझा ही नहीं। अब तुम यदि इफ यू डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड a quote, if you do not have a right understanding of the quote, then your whole essay will be messed up. So be careful. So critical things to consider about the topic. So इस टॉपिक के बारे में कौन सा जो क्रिटिकल चीज है उसको हमको ध्यान में रखना चाहिए। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, नेचर ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, इट इज एफोरिज्म और a pithy quote. Nature of the topic, again abstract idea. So what should be your writing mode, the genre of the essay? Amplification or expansion. Now we move over to the last question in section 8, that is the fourth question. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Three keywords here: simplicity, ultimate and sophistication. So here we apply our general method of initial step, our general method of replacing the keywords with synonyms and antonyms. And when we do that, simplicity means plainless, clarity, lucidity, ultimate, supreme, consummate. Sophistication, complexity, intricateness. The opposite words for simplicity can be complexity, elaborateness. Ultimate can be inferior, lower. Sophistication can be simplicity. So, based on our synonyms and antonyms, what does this quote mean? What this quote means is that clarity is consummately derived. Consummately means artistically, very skillfully, derived or extracted from complexity. जो बहुत ही सिद्धहस्त कलाकार होते हैं, जो बहुत ही विद्वान जानकार लोग होते हैं, वो जो बहुत ही जटिल चीज है, उस जटिलता से उन लोगों ने क्लैरिटी, स्पष्टता या सिंप्लिसिटी निकालते हैं। इसका अर्थ यह हुआ कि कोई यदि बहुत ही अच्छा कलाकार है, बहुत ही जानकार स्कॉलर है, बहुत ही बड़ा वैज्ञानिक है, जैसे आइंस्टाइन था, न्यूटन था, तो वो लोग कॉम्प्लेक्स से कॉम्प्लेक्स चीज को, थियरी को बहुत ही क्लियर, सिंपल क्लियर रूप में समझाएगा। सो दिस इज व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस टॉपिक. What are the critical things to consider about the topic? It is an aphorism or a pithy quote. That is the nature of the question. Nature of the topic is abstract idea. Genre of the essay is amplification or expansion. So, what is the contradictory view? Contradictory view is a feeling for sophistication or ornateness leads to awkwardness and a loss of lucidity. Complexity masks obfuscations. हिंदी में समझो, मैं बहुत ही उत्कृष्ट, बहुत ही जटिल, जटिलता, उत्कृष्टता स्टाइल में, शैली, मेरा शैली बहुत ही उत्कृष्ट हो, मेरा शैली बहुत ही जटिल हो, यदि इस तरह का फीलिंग किसी विद्वान को है, किसी वैज्ञानिक को है, किसी फिलोसोफर को है, तो ये अच्छी चीज नहीं है, क्योंकि दिस लीड्स टू ऑकवर्डनेस. इससे क्लमजीनेस आती है, लूसिडिटी खत्म हो जाता है, और एक्चुअली जो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी है वो ऑब्फ्यूस्केशंस को मास्क करता है, छुपाता है. ऑब्फ्यूस्केशंस का मतलब होता है तुम्हारा अंडरस्टैंडिंग ठीक नहीं है, हाफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग है. तो जब किसी आदमी का अंडरस्टैंडिंग हाफ होता है, अच्छा नहीं होता है, स्पष्ट नहीं होता है, तो उस कमजोरी को वो छुपाने का कोशिश करता है कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी से, ऑर्नेट स्टाइल से, सोफिस्टिकेटेड स्टाइल से. सो दिस इज द कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी व्यू. So, approach to the topic. How can we approach the topic? Well, this topic is chiefly related to the subject of science or philosophy, but it has received treatment across wide areas of subjects. For example, in science, साइंस में इस टॉपिक को कैसे किया गया है? तो अप्रोच, scientists who use simplicity in nature claim that simplicity is an epistemic virtue that provides a basis for believing that a theory is true, that it is the aim of science to produce simple theories. नेचर, प्रकृति अपने आप में बहुत ही जटिल और बहुत ही सिंपल भी है. यदि तुम प्रकृति को समझ लो, नहीं समझो, या तुम्हारा समझ ठीक नहीं है, तो प्रकृति तुमको बहुत ही जटिल प्रतीत होगा. लेकिन वैज्ञानिक लोग जो प्रकृति को समझता है, तो वो जब समझता है तो पाता है कि प्रकृति, नेचर में सिंप्लिसिटी है, और उसी सिंप्लिसिटी को ध्यान में रखते हुए, इसी चीज से सीखते हुए वैज्ञानिक लोग, जो अच्छे वैज्ञानिक होते हैं, वो क्या करते हैं कि वो जब रिसर्च कर रहे होते हैं तो वो बड़ा जटिल होता है, लेकिन जब वो थियरी प्रतिपादन करते हैं तो थियरी को बहुत ही सिंपल तरीका से वो प्रतिपादन करते हैं. फिलोसफी में, हाउ दिस टॉपिक हैज बीन ट्रीटेड इन फिलोसफी. Simplicity emerges from careful consideration. Problems begin in a haze of uncertainty and normally become more complex before the light begins to dawn. So, philosophy does not advocate an uninformed simplicity, but the simplicity that emerges from the genuine involvement with the issue. दर्शन शास्त्र में कहा गया है कि तुम जितना केयरफुली, जितना गहराई में जाकर सोचोगे किसी टॉपिक पर, किसी भी टॉपिक के जटिलता से जितना जूझोगे, तब तुमको तब तुम प्रकाश देखोगे, तब तुम उसको समझ पाओगे, और जब तुम समझ पाओगे तब तुम उसको बहुत ही सरल रूप से लोगों के सामने रख पाओगे। इसलिए फिलॉसफी में भी सिंप्लिसिटी इज द अल्टीमेट सोफिस्टिकेशन। इथिक्स, अब इथिक्स में इसको कैसे ट्रीट किया जाता है? अनलाइक कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, सिंप्लिसिटी डज नॉट हैपन, इट मस्ट बी सॉट। सिंप्लिसिटी, सरल बनना आसान नहीं है। सरलता ऐसे ही नहीं आता है, सरलता के लिए प्रयास करना पड़ता है। हर कोई महात्मा गांधी के जैसा कपड़े लगाकर खाना खाकर झोपड़ी में नहीं रह सकता है, उसके लिए प्रयास करना पड़ता है। सूट बूट पहनना, बहुत मेकअप करना, सूट बूट पहनना, much more, that is much more, that is much easier than actually trying to be simple. तो इथिक्स में इस टॉपिक को इस तरह से ट्रीट किया गया है। टेक्नोलॉजी एंड डिजाइन, in technology and design the emphasis is on ergonomic ease, which is the simplicity of the design and which is achieved through an understanding of the sophistication that finally leads to a plain product. अब टेक्नोलॉजी में या डिजाइन में क्या होता है? किसी चीज का डिजाइन, कोई भी प्रोडक्ट जब आता है तुम देखो, शुरू में थोड़ा उसको चलाना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है, थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होता है, लेकिन एज टाइम पासेस बाय, जैसे समय बीतेगा और समझ जाते बढ़ता जाएगा, देन द सेम थिंग बिकम्स वेरी इजी टू यूज। तुम कंप्यूटर का एग्जांपल ले सकते हो। व्हेन द कंप्यूटर्स केम इन द 60s, वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू ऑपरेट। पहले तो माउस भी नहीं होता था, डेस्क ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम जो बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स था उससे ऑपरेट करना पड़ता था। अब देखो आ गया विंडोज, और हम हाउ इजिली one can use the computer. So टेक्नोलॉजी में क्या होता है कि the effort is at making things simpler and simpler, taking them towards more and more simplicity. Art, kala, and I have here the example of Madhubani painting, and I take this as a very fitting example of simplicity as being the ultimate sophistication. Mithila in Bihar, as you know, since the time of King Janak, has been a land where the plurality of Hindu philosophy developed. And Hindu philosophy in itself is a very complex thing, not easy to understand. There used to be long drawn debates in King Janak's court about how to be one with God by indulging in materialism or by taking to renunciation and things like that. So this very complex plurality of Hindu philosophy actually finds expression in Madhubani painting, which is chiefly done by women painters. So, males also do this, but women painters. And if you look at Madhubani painting, they are so beautiful, They look so simple, and they are made of very simple stuff. All the the natural colors that are available in North Bihar. It's made of that, but actually, the simple living thing encapsulates very complex plurality of Hindu philosophy. So that also proves our topic. Simplicity is ultimate sophistication. And mind you, this quote was first of all used by Leonardo da Vinci, and he was an artist. So probably this quote came with reference to art. A very good artist, a sophisticated artist will be very simple about the art. That's what this quote in that context would mean. So, in this way, I have tried to analyze the questions to you so that you have a right understanding of the questions. If your understanding of the question is wrong, well then all your effort goes in vain. So very important that you understand the question right. In the next lecture, we will have analytical understanding of section B of the GS paper 2020. Thank you very much.